thank you for making it back here for Game 2 of TSM Academy versus Golden Guardians. I know the fridge is far away. TSM have now jumped out to an early lead in this series, and we can definitely peer inside the jungle to find out why. Definitely for the side of Acadian, we're watching to see if Hard can bite back.
Yeah, and if you're just tuning in for some reason now, it's Acadian that is jungling for the Academy team, and he just popped off. Really had a phenomenal time in the jungle. He played Silas against the Sejuani from Hard, and even though Golden Guardians had pulled to a 3-0 lead early, TSM clawed back at the hands of Acadians engages, constantly stealing both Sejuani and Sona's ultimates to make plays of his own, and the rest of the team was very willing and able to back him up every step of the way. That created a lot of one-sided opportunities for TSM that snowballed the game out of control to an end result of 4-14 at the end score, which is just crazy to think that they turned around a 3-0 start to a 14-1 end.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was deathless. Quite a few people on the side of TSM, whereas the 4 kills were not really across the members. And he at one point was 2 levels above his opponent in the jungle. So it's kind of like, I always thought of it as kind of the capture the flag thing. If you're not in capture the flag, your team is always a member down. You're not figuring out what's going on. You don't get the experience. He was on there stealing flags the whole time. Top experience. That's the kind of guy you want.
But I do think Hard had a lot of opportunities to make up for that. I think that Hard kind of got in his own head thinking, I got to be too selfless. I got to help out all my lanes before I help myself. You help yourself, and then you help others. People. That's how it always works. And Hard did it the other way around. But I'm sure it's game 1. You can always change that around. So I'm looking forward to game 2, changing things up and having more room to experiment with what lane Hard goes to. He really focused so much in the top lane, was not able to help Ole and keep in the bottom lane because they were playing Sona Tam Kench, an unconventional bottom lane.
That's where I want to go with this. You took the words out of my mouth. I want to see him going towards more lanes, but that also means he needs more options in those lanes. Not the easiest to gank for an Akali onto a Corki. He's just going to Valkyrie away. Top side was even a bit difficult as Grig was absorbing that pressure. And on the other side, going in as a blue side jungler on the red is already a tough job anyways. You don't have a tri-brush to gank behind. So he kind of had his work cut out for him there. Now TSM is going to be on blue side by choice. So Hard could have a bit better pathing, bit better of a kind of route to figure out how to get under the skin of TSM.
I really wonder what TSM's strategy is going to be. It felt like they knew 100% that it was going to be take the Silas into Sejuani, give it up, you're going to be okay with it. And now on blue side, are they going to be willing to first pick the Sejuani and maybe take the Silas matchup? Do they ban Silas and hope to have Sejuani into instead a Trundle or maybe a Jarvan? There's a lot of questions that we have to ask, and unfortunately not a lot of them were answered because of the Sona Tam Kench. And maybe the man responsible is right there on your screen, Coach Nero.
Hard Nero.
Taking a nice little rest.
Yeah, that is jungler chair Hard. He's next to Darshan. I think Palafox as well is making his way towards the stage as the players get a bit more time here to right themselves, figure out what they're going to do for the second game as they figure out what went wrong in the first one. I don't think much went wrong. The other team, obviously TSM, played a great game. Sometimes you have to recognize that and not dwell on the fact that something happened. There is a point where teams can get stuck saying, no, it wasn't the comp, it was us, when it was the comp. But I don't think that was the case.
Yeah, they fought way too many fights that were not theirs to win. You could just see that it was going to be a loss, not just from positioning, but timing of the itemizations. And TSM knows that that was what worked for them. And I'm sure they'll look for Acadian to be on a similar pick that gives him the agency to make the play on his own and have the rest of the team following up. A big aspect, though, is that those engage picks, the Jarvan and the Sejuani, are not like the Silas in that they can really solo kill somebody. They don't have as much damage if they don't. Even if they get ahead, they're really just all about the initiation and tankiness. So I think that Acadian got away with a very powerful game 1 that I don't think we'll get to see again.
I think one of the understated things about having Silas in a game in general is the chaos he causes for a team that is already kind of discombobulated in fights. And I'm not really categorizing GGS as that, just saying kind of the prowess of Silas in a sense where, oh, they're expecting a crescendo. Now they get a glacial prison. You're always mixing something up. So if you can take advantage of a team that already wants to be engaging first and can't assess after they've been hit them with something different every time, it becomes even harder. So I love that pickup. And we'll see if, like you said, they can still get the Silas in there because I think it was pretty powerful.
That's the cool thing about the Silas champion, really. I'm glad that we wanted to bring him back into the professional meta. I think he's so interesting to see, especially once you hit the crazy late game, because if you can steal multiple ultimates in the team fight, it's no longer what ultimate do you steal, but in what order are you starting to use them? What combinations do you come up with that might be a little bit more relevant for the situation? Do you steal an engage ultimate and go right away, or do you steal an assassin's ultimate and go for a flank? There's endless.
That aspect right there, in a support mind with shields and heals and utility, is why I play support. As a Silas in late game, choosing ults, where to use. No, I don't play a Silas support.
Oh, I was like, what?
That mentality of a late game fight for Silas where he has to do a bunch of different things and almost play a mini game with his ultimate is why I love playing support with shields, heals, and everything. You get to play a mini game with everybody every single fight, not just late game.
And you're not going to be able to play the Silas again. Call that one, no Silas for Acadian. Instead, we're going to give Ablazolive the Corki again. Even though Azir is up in the previous series, Ablazolive did prefer this over the Azir. So safe, and you have those guaranteed power spikes with the package that you can use to either convert into dragons. And I believe we heard from Zabutin that if you're actually able to use the first package for the first dragon, the second one will respawn for you at the second dragon. So you'll always have a package up for the dragon objective, which does lead to very positive objective control.
Feels good. Aatrox getting locked in. Darshan's going to take that this time. I want to see Grig take Renekton. Let's go. That would be amazing to see them take it back.
The most BM of all time. Salty run back.
That's the reason why you sometimes play a different champion than you're playing. You're like, I can play that better than that guy, so I'm going to play it next game. Let's go. What does Hard want here? 1 second left, and we're going to get the Azir that was banned out. I have been bamboozled. It's Ezreal.
Ezreal was banned in the second rotation by Golden Guardians,
You're right.
actually. So this is a team that has already shown they have a lot of priority on this pick, but it's going to give Keith a lot more agency to be his own man around the map, not having to be so and then just waddle around with Olay, who won't have his Tahm Kench either. It was banned, and I don't think that Tactical and Treats really wanted to cared that much about some of the Tahm Kench. It was more so we just don't want to deal with this pick. We know what Olay's shtick was in the LCS. It was always the Tahm Kench, and now we have learned the lesson the hard way. Let's not repeat it again.
Ooh, they're just going for that regular good comp all throughout the game. Good laning, good fighting. TSM are looking strong right now. GGS, I like the style they're putting into their comp. They can still put the same power out. You just got to do it with a little bit of flair.
So this tells me that TSM would really, really like Jarvan. Jarvan Sivir is just such a crazy combination.
Go forward.
And it's also a very powerful pick against Sivir because you can jump her, and even though you might stop the damage with the spell shield, she's still going to get locked in. But on the flip side, Olay selects a pretty powerful support against Sivir as well. People are picking these champions that have a way of bypassing the spell shield because she does block the headbutt, but you're already in range to hit the pulverize, so she still gets knocked up.
We saw this in the LCS as well throughout the last weekend. Alistar does also have some crazy healing in team fights. If you get multiple roars off, you are just giving like multiple hundreds HP to everybody out there. You can see that at the end of the fight. If we get some stats on our sheet, we'll make sure to call them out. May not see it in the end game statty screen, but it's a cool stat to check out.
No Jarvan allowed this game. No team, TSM Academy not willing to risk that. GGS wouldn't take that.
No, thank you.
It makes so much sense for them to take it too, up against two carries. And you know, a thing that is always overlooked about that champion is that you passively boost, or I guess not passively, you actively boost everybody else's attack speed with your Demacian standard. Which does increase your DPS significantly. I mean, a champion like Aatrox can get off maybe another auto attack, and while that doesn't sound like a lot, if you look at the fact that he's healing for 500 per auto attack, now you realize it's a big deal.
Attack speed's always good. You gotta love it, especially if you're a marksman. It's like blue buff is attack speed for mages, right?
Yeah.
Get your spell cooldown. It's a weird thing to say.
Oh no,
Tristana.
no, it doesn't lower cooldown anymore. It's only mana.
Oh, you're right.
regeneration.
Yeah. That's the old thought. I always used to say that too. It's like it's stack speed for mages, but no, you're right. So we see Tristana locked in here on the side of GGS. We already have that Aatrox, and we already have an Ezreal. So looking at Palafox with that in the mid lane against Corki. We have seen Kaisa from Yasui go to mid, but it might be that Triss now.
It is a flex pick that can go
Absolutely.
both ways because Darshan and Palafox would likely be able to trade the Aatrox as well. You do have to account for the fact that Aatrox can solo lane in both mid and top, even though it might not be as optimal in the mid lane, but it is a possibility, and Golden Guardians is playing it like a flex, so TSM has to respect it, and they lock in a pretty safe top laner that works really well with the Sivir. Speed both Skarner and Kennen in, and suddenly you've got a great way to start a fight.
Elise follow-up. You're going to get a Kennen and Skarner on either side, as you were saying. I love the Kennen lock in here. Let's see what Grit can do on it. A lot of push out, though. Could get stopped by a Cocoon, but also headbutted by that Alistar if he has not already gone into the fight. Grig will have to keep an eye on his target of Ole to make sure he can make that Kennen ult hit max damage.
This is a very different pick for Akaden, though, because he cannot start the fight on his own. This is not a Silas, oh, please follow me. This is I need the team to be there with me to make the play. That's the whole point of Skarner. Otherwise, he can't get a solo kill. This is not a champion that can really threaten that. So we're going to see if Akaden can develop multiple styles or has developed multiple styles over the course of a series. And on the flip side, Golden Guardians has given Hard a much more powerful champion in the early game. Make way more plays. I personally started picking this champion up in solo queue, and she's very good at just diving constantly. You never need to go for farm. You always can look for a dive opportunity because you can 100 to 0 a lot of picks around the map, as you can tank towers better than any other jungler pre-6.
We will see. It is a Kennen on the top side. Deadly Kennen, best skin. Props to Grig for using that one, but I feel like an Aatrox and Elise is going to be under his tower quite a bit. Kennen, quite an easy one to gank if that, especially if lightning rushes down. It's going to be scary. It's going to be scary.
The Cocoon has to hit, though.
Yes, it does. That is the thing. We are going to see TSM Academy and Golden Guardians Academy back onto the Rift. Game number 2 here. It is not game point just yet in the best of 5. It is the semifinals, however, and the winner will move on to Academy World Finals. TSM looking to defend that title as Cloud9 wants a chance again. They're on the other side of the bracket. Still have a game to play. And Golden Guardians is already looking to strike back here in game 2 to make it even tougher for TSM on the road there.
Very noble from Akaden, tanking those spiderlings.
You know, I think I just knew the future when I started playing League of Legends. Context, I started playing Kennen a lot. And when I first started, it was Garen and then Kennen. Kennen basically 1 to 30. And I thought it was cool to get to lane fast, so I started E. But starting E back then didn't do crap. You just ran really fast, and then you realized, like, wait, my W doesn't turn on and stuff if I get it and I haven't hit anybody. But now, everybody starts E.
Well, the E also gave you armor and MR back then, which was absolutely awesome, actually.
That's true.
Such a broken skill to have. And, hey, your dash. Imagine if Cassidy's Riftwalk also gave you armor and MR.
Maybe I just knew. I actually did want to see a change where if you threw a Q with Kennen and hit it, his W passive would gain an auto attack shuriken mark.
Oh, instantly trigger W if you hit it.
Yeah, well, not instantly. It would just give you another one. But adding attack speed made him more auto attack based anyways instead of caster. So super awesome change. High five to that designer. He did great with the Yodel camp.
So another interesting thing about the design of champions is the Skarner design actually makes him an absolutely terrible counter jungler.
Really?
He is just awful at that because you are amazing at farming your own jungle because you have those spires. But if you have to counter jungle, your attack speed, your mana regeneration is awful because you need to trigger that. So for counter jungling for Skarner, you really need to also go for the spire, which costs so much time as there are in locations where it's not that you can do a camp and simultaneously do the Spire trigger. So I'm expecting Akaadian to be a lot more farm-centric around his own jungle this time around, which would restrict Hard to stick in his own jungle, because you don't want to go counter jungle Skarner because he's so strong in his own side of the map. So I think the junglers are going to be a lot more passive when it comes to counter jungling, but that still should not deter Hard from looking for a kill.
Yep. Oh, he's going to come up at a perfect time, too. Nicely going around the Spire to not activate it just on the edge. Can he get the Q out? No, he cannot. But now who has priority topside? And he will see that Darshan does not. This could be a really weird escape if it's going to be Grig there first. He repels. Akaadian needs to walk up towards Grig, not away from him. Needs help from his buddy. That's going to be a quick W if he can get the stun down onto Hard. Now Grig's up the river without a paddle. No rotation in the middle, so Blaze Olive is forced to farm the minions at the turret. And what movement from GGS? We see the same start from them. Now on the bot side, Tactical and Treats are going to go hard, knowing the junglers are at play on the top side of the map. And it is still 2 tanky supports able to disperse the fight, but a good damage trade on both sides.
And that fight in the top lane river was really just a very strange one, because it looked like Akaadian was able to get away, right? He could flash, Grig was collapsing, but then Grig commits so hard to going after the Elise, even though she still had flash and had members collapsing. So a bit of a miscommunication out of him, because right, you get this and there's no need to continue to fight this. You can just get out of here. But instead he's thinking, Kennen is here, I can probably buy enough time, not anticipating Hard having that much damage. And then Grig, I'm not sure what this was all about. Yeah, that looks worse when I see it back here.
I'm trying to think if there was maybe a map click, because the E down looked pretty intentional, not like he was pathing weird. You know
I think he eased down and there's like, oh crap, Chris is here, go the other way.
The quick movement, unfortunate. Look at the size of this wave though. So much pressure able to be put onto Treats. Oh, and he gets Tactical to use a boomerang out of it. That makes it tough. He could lose a few here. When you get that much chaos at a turret, it is hard to pick up all the CS, but good for him. Only missing a few out of that round. And now he's going to get some help from Tactical here to make sure that CS goes in. I love a support that can weave in the autos to make sure that method goes with the madness.
We got the Sheen already for Keith. And we'll see if he can use this to assert a little bit more lane dominance. Now that we saw he was already able to push one of those big waves in, having that extra damage from that Sheen proc. Oh, what is that noise? It's a little dragon trainer Tristana.
Yep. That's witching.
Bewitched.
Yes, Bewitched. Yes. There you go. I was like, yes, I think. I used to know all of the skin names when I first started on player support, when they would come out, what new ones would be, and be like, oh yeah, that's Detrimental, Noxious.
I'm so impressed at how many names production keeps being able to tell us of what the skins are. Like, they're on point.
Well, the production also knows quite a bit of it, because there's I don't think there's a list that's used, but there is a list that's not able to be used. So just, I think, by like knowing skins, some of the ones that aren't able, and then you process of elimination, you store a good amount of them.
They have been moving some of those in from the restricted into the allowed list, though, because I remember way back, Eternum Nocturne was never allowed.
Okay.
Because it was too disruptive, just makes too much noise.
Oh, it does.
But now everyone can play it, even though Nocturne's just not meta.
If you're with Vedius, he's always meta. Middle of Cocoon miss down towards Akaadian as they start encroaching onto this side of the jungle. Good start here by Golden Guardians. A little less pace than they had last time, but they're still able to control the map. Akaadian's not kind of over farming. He's able to stay on his own side of the jungle, and now looks like he might be under farming a little bit. The Ignite goes down, the shot from Palafox, and that's a kill for the mid laner as he cleans up on a quick roam.
Golden Guardians had a really good idea why they were there. Kennen was not level 6 as we see now on your screen. He was level 5, and if you roam Tristana and oh, he's gonna die. Grig is dead.
Oh, gotta hit the cocoon.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, they defied you, Crumbs. That's all right, he had 200 HP. I guess that's the other conditional you need for the top lane gank. We did expect that pressure towards the top side though, and now a rinse and repeat. 3-0 in the early game for Golden Guardians. You couldn't match it up anymore. They're only on the red side now. Let's see if they can control this game.
Yeah, man.
Second time around.
It's the scene of the crime just keeps returning, right? That same spot continues to be the place of action. And Palafox does a really cool job in ulting Acadian out of there, but he gets to reset his jump and then just procs the ignite. And so, as I was saying, they're going for that play because Grig was not level 6. He wasn't level 6 because of the initial play that gave that first blood away. So this was Golden Guardians really capitalizing on his first kill, and Grig unfortunately gets pulled back, and at least he's still there because the first play simply got sidetracked by adding another kill to the repertoire.
That one caster minion that was just outside of range. He's serious for the escape. Hard playing his cards right there. I don't know if he's going to get that many more chances to get out of that clean if they go for more dives, but it might only get easier. 1-0-1 for him in the jungle. He was not really able to pop off last game as he was always behind pace on Acadian. And now they cannot worry about top lane. Darshan looks to be pretty nice. Getting a little Harbinger stack there from his passive again.
Oh!
Chain should pull him in, but he blows the flash onto Grig, and this becomes so tough for Kennen now. You can see he already bought a second Dorans to get a bit more HP in there. But if you've already gone behind against your laner, it becomes real tough.
Yeah, if you're behind and you're buying Dorans, it is really just, it's the ultimate sign of I'm in trouble. I really need help here.
Anybody got any coupons for my next item? I'd love to get a discount. Here we are on the bot side now. Acadian, like you said, it's a little bit harder to get around to Keith and Ole. Hard's doing a nice job at kind of Mission Impossible on the Dragon. Ole could give this away as the team starts to rotate up there. They're going to have to call Palafox and Hard down, taking a bit of damage from the Dragon, though. If they can deny this fight while taking Drake, it would be huge, but it's going to be a 4v3 as they want to join the party. TSM says 3's a crowd, and we are out of here.
Corky's going to join.
Like they should be able to make it. That's a package. Right across for Hard could be the kill. Then it's 4v3 in favor of TSM. But it is definitely a very tight player if they were to make it, and they wouldn't have much lane to work with. No one goes down, and Drake is also unknowingly stopped there by TSM.
There was heartbreak for me watching the Skarner come in, burning the flash for it, but instead we're going to look at the top lane fight because something must have happened here. Let's see what went down. Keep in mind, Darshan rushed Merc Treads here and cooldown reduction with the Warhammer to try to get a little bit more action against Grig. It was really good that he actually got that first knockup when Grig initially used that Lightning Rush. Getting that minimizes the time that he's in that form, prevents him from getting away, and then connects to the other kill. So top lane going so well for Golden Guardians that this is going to be a much different look than game one, where Renekton was not able to translate those kills into a big lead. Aatrox, we know what he can do with a big lead. It's scary.
It's pretty gross. We saw them banning the Camille away from Darshan. Wait! Okay, it's not a replay. I was having to make sure for a second. Grig again getting taken down by Darshan. A few more hits. That is not even going to be the Kun necessary, and the sweet spot hits for Darshan as he comes up 2-0-2.
Hit him with the Kun.
That's crazy. 10:38, 5-0. More kills possibly coming in from the mid lane. 2-0 for Palafox. Remember, his first kill came because he just had a pretty decent roam up the river. May get your socks wet, but it doesn't matter. Come away with a kill. That's perfectly fine. Hard's going to be able to drop down the Rift Herald here. What a switch in how the first game went. This was Acadian's Rift Herald. The Drakes were Acadians. Nobody's really been able to get Infernal, which there probably will be a fight here. But if you consider that fight happens and GGS doesn't want to contest it, they get plates in another lane.
Yeah, and they have so much pressure as well in mid lane that allows them to do this. Remember, game one, they had a Kali against Corki. There's just no way that you actually are going to out-pressure the Corki. But this time around, the Tristana has been able to throw multiple times. No, he is so weak. I think if he does that, Elise might be able to
get vision and repel over.
Repel over and just kill him right then and there.
Oh, but look at that. You literally just, not sacrifice, but you are intentionally giving solo gold with those plates over to Darshan, a full turret as well. Hard was like, I'm out of here. That's all yours. Here is this objective for you.
You know, I think he could have used that elsewhere because Darshan was crushing top so much.
I like that thought.
There were still like 3 minutes on the Herald use before the plates went down. So I think you could have maximized it more, but this just gets the job done a little bit quicker. And we'll see what Darshan can do with that first tower. If he stays and decides to shove Kennen into the tier 2, or he uses that time to roam down and help Golden Guardians secure the first Infernal of the game, which we still have not taken at 12 minutes.
Yeah. It does allow Darshan to come down here. Maybe that's the point, right? We can flex the game now that Darshan can rotate. That's first Rift. I would have said mid as well for the turret. Then a Blaze Olive is forced to switch lanes early. It makes his CS a little bit more difficult this quick in the game. But it's going to be the Rift Herald. Ward just to the right side. They've hidden on that pit. Pixel Brush gets a pink ward. And a few pink wards are going to deny a good amount of vision onto that Dragon Pig. Glacial Fisher goes back. Everything's reactively paid here by TSM. Ole's into the fight. He's got to throw down the ultimate. It's going to be way too late. He goes down.
Kennen's here.
Beautiful steal over by Hard. Kennen coming in with a slicing maelstrom, but everybody's just able to bounce around it. Oh, it feels so bad. I feel really bad for Greg right now because as a Kennen player, you want to be able to come in and hit those ultimates, but they are doing such a good job of avoiding his cannon.
Yeah, that was just slicing the air for the cannon, but he still made it down though, right? He was there to support the team. He maybe got there a little bit late. The recital was over, but you still showed up, and that's what counts, right?
It is. It is. There's still big ults to come from him. He's not going the on-hit cannon. He is going to go for a bit of the AP so he can get some damage in there, and we'll see if he can. Or maybe a bit of both. We'll see. Oh, Cadian. Could Ole get the save here? Ponzo got the wall pulverized down. Hard's got a long way to walk out of this one. The Itsy Bitsy Spider is going to make himself safe and under a turret now on the bot side of the map. But TSM here, after being down 5 kills in the game, seemingly push Golden Guardians around after a dragon fight.
TSM is never going to be out of this game. Oh wait, Cadian has ult too.
Oh, a little too late, a little too long. Palafox in a bad spot, 150 gold bounty could be coming up, but he is going to keep himself safe and find the kill on Acadian. What a beautiful pay from Palafox as he kind of turns us around.
He didn't have the ult, my bad. He used it on the Elise, and so the fight is only with the stun, and the defensive tree from Palafox does such a good job in mitigating the damage from Corki that he stays alive long enough to get the reset and get the heck out of there.
Literally press the attack by this guy over and over again. He's taking it to heart with that rune. See these fights one more time. So here, blue buff stolen. So I was actually saying Hard, get out of my, or Hard was saying Acadian, get out of my jungle. And Acadian's happy to leave with the buffs.
I think Acadian was a little bit greedy in his positioning because if he were to move up, it's not like Elise is going to repel on top of you. She's still going to die. She can only drop straight back down. And while the exhaust is nice here, the exhaust is actually chained on top of the stun. So there was an overlap there that would have been able to lower the damage threshold of Palafox and keep him there long enough. So I think there was a little bit of a missed summoner spell that made a difference, even though it was so minor.
Ooh. Super well played there. Playing just outside turret range, not knowing obviously that Palafox was going to jump on him, but if he did, he can quickly Valkylize her back and make that work in his favor. Little cheeky plays by the mid lane, and I love the way this game overall is playing out. Golden Guardians were backs against the wall after they got their first 3 kills in the game and have completely turned the tables this game, not even having priority first pick. That went to TSM as they have blue side, so GGS really not feeling the pressure of game 1. And like we said, being able to just forget about it and say, let's play our game as we head to game 2. But still spicing up the composition. I love what they brought to the table for GGS.
And it's only going to get spicier, Rib, because we have another Fire Dragon coming up next. This is only going to be beneficial for both of these teams. TSM obviously wants to get it. They have a huge arsenal of champions that can benefit, but if Golden Guardians get their second one, that is just filthy because every member except Alistar will really get a ton of it. And the Aatrox, more than anything else, you're stacking pure AD. You're really not buying anything else. You don't need the attack speed. You don't need crit. You get so much value out of that. And then consider that your ultimate increases your damage too by a percentage.
Oh. Quite behind on that. Greg, just you can tell by a Kennen W and clearing out the wave there. Still took him at least 2 or 3 autos to get everything cleaned up. So it takes him a while to even get these waves in. 2 levels down on Darshan right now as level 11s get hit across the map. We're seeing a lot of level 10s for the duos. Here we have bot lane getting taken down. That gold discrepancy, 7,600. So 5,000 in that top side across the map is being closed up a little bit. but much better on the side of GGS here, and this is exactly what the team wanted to see coming in. Like we said, we thought the Sona Tom Kench for bot lane for GGS was a bit of a trial. See if they could get a great game out of TSM, and we see him playing more standard is working out.
Everyone's fresh here. Only Grig has a little bit of golden treats. Is trying to be the front man as they continue to check this, but fighting for this Inferno is going to be really tough. Darshan is going to be coming down. He doesn't want to do like last game where you save the teleport. You want to be there early. This is a really important objective, and he has Death Stance completed, so it's going to allow him to be a little bit tankier. And here we go. The fight started.
On the hunt's going to be there. Darshan's just on the right side, but he's already been found. He's in a fight already, and he's going to get a quick kill along with the rest of the team, actually. Nicely done on Darshan as they go into the middle of the fight. Grig is trying to get himself back into a position where it might count, as the rest of TSM are waiting to see if GGS will attempt something about this Drake so they can contest.
That was not it.
Nope. Bit more damage coming in. It looks like they will be able to take this one, but I don't think Ole is just going to give it up.
TSM might have to be quick. Darshan has teleport. Let's see if Golden Guardians can keep them busy long enough for Darshan to get in here. No, we're just going to have a bit of a retreat, and I believe Darshan had a spree on that too, so just donating some gold away over to TSM's most dangerous member, Blaze Olive.
Feels good for him. He was down about 900 gold just a second ago, and he has closed that gap to 200. Holy moly, that one kill definitely had a good bounty on it. He puts boots and the BF sword with some more attack speed in his inventory. That's an exhaust for Blaze Olive as well, so Darshan has to remember coming in, he's not going to be whipping out full damage even on ultimate.
Yeah, that really hurts. I mean, so much of Golden Guardian's early plan was around getting Aatrox ahead, and then the first fight that you join, not only do you give the bounty away, but you also actually concede the Infernal. So now, TSM is going to be on even footing when it comes to these dragons. They're really happy now with that. Now that you have Sivir wave clearing, Corki about to go for the Infinity Edge once again. But
it's a scary thing, TSM. I think like amongst the entire organization, there is that like playoff plot armor. Whether or not it's as shiny as it is for the LCS team, for Academy, there's still plot armor there, I feel.
Reigning champions.
Reigning champ plot armor.
Always have to respect that.
Absolutely. They always make those late game fights that feel like they are in your grasp. They make those late game fights fall to the wayside, and you wonder, how did TSM do that? What was the way they did that? And a lot of times, one Skarner pull, as Captain Flower said, will do it. There's one to the top side. Palafox goes down. That was, what, 350 gold bounty they just picked up as well, so the cash is coming in.
One pull, one dream.
Yep.
Get those bounties, and yeah, maybe Darshan can get something here in the bottom lane as Ole and the rest of the squad is backing him up, but TSM is more than happy to trade. Grig, he can go 0-12, and he's still going to be very useful for this team. That's the whole value of putting him on these champions. TSM knows that he's not going to beat Darshan in lane, all right? That's just not going to happen. Yeah. So you put him on something that can still affect the team fight, that can still provide utility. Kennen is just that, and so, yes, Golden Guardians can continue to focus him, but TSM was planning for this.
And just in that few kills, the Blaze Olive went from 900 gold down to about 400 gold, 500 gold up on Palafox. So what a surge in just a few minutes. The game swings once again. Dot lane still getting pressured in though. GGS are in a much better spot this game than they were at 3-0 in game 1. Now they've put enough steps in place that it's going to take TSM a while to bite back. And GGS want to utilize that advantage. Another kill going over to them, unfortunately, in the hands of Ole, but the money's picked up, and having TSM off the map is their priority.
The kill-stealing Alistar, but it might not matter because Skarner is down. Golden Guardians might be able to go for this Baron, or at least bait it. They have Blade of the Ruined King on Tristana. They're going for the objective now. Can TSM get here in time to defend this? They need Braum to face check.
You know, this just reminds me of back in the day, Marn with Heart on Tristana, bringing out that Blade of the Ruined King Trist to take down the objectives. And Marn is honored here once again as they get it. GGS takes down the Baron, and they are going to make their way to safety with that fast recall.
Man, that was such a pivotal pick for Golden Guardians to find the jungler just like that. About 20 minutes in, they didn't even need to get the Mountain Dragon. That's going to let them get the next Mountain Dragon off of this Baron, buy more time to pay the Skarner tax, and now Skarner doesn't have a way to actually pull anybody. The Elite isn't even a very good target or a likely target. Aatrox, Trist, and Ezreal have already paid their dues.
Lots of ward right where Acadian has fallen numerous times this game, just to the left of your screen.
Right? The same place again. It's that river, the top river. It's haunted.
It is haunted. You got to be very careful. He is down 0, 3, and 3. The Silas game, he was unkilled. Now he has found himself coming off the fountain a few too many times to assist the team. And really, he's been the only one coming off the fountain to try and assist the team for TSM. Golden Guardians has made sure his job was real hard this game, and Keith now sits middle with Ole just on the wing. Wards are being moved up beautifully here. Intention in the inventory of Golden Guardians as more pink wards are ready to be placed. And as we say, you can have those breadcrumb wards on the way out, making sure you see TSM if they follow you. Golden Guardians is such a good position, and they're working all across the map.
Those control wards that you see allow them to move back and forth. We have the Sivir ultimate going. They're going to learn that their Sham doesn't have that QSS, though, so Acadian's going to have a bit of a harder time chasing him down here. Let's see if he gets away.
Ooh, flash, grab, QSS, nab, slicing Maelstrom, flash. Lots of summoner spells being used down here. Corki pushing back Keith in the mid lane. No kill coming from that in the Blaze Olive, but now top is getting pushed in. Tristana at the turret is a demolitionist. You also have Demolish on these turrets. Holy moly, do they fall fast.
Yes, at what cost does Darshan go down? Well, it's a pretty steep one, losing that first base turret. However, Golden Guardians does not crack inhibitors, which is a really positive sign for TSM. That does continue to keep them at an even pace here. And while they do lose members, remember, folks, it's all about the itemizations. The gold doesn't really matter. It's all about, do the carries have the damage that they need to dispatch of the enemy team? And the Blaze Olive and Tactical are definitely getting up there. And look at that. They're going to sneak in the Dragon.
Sneak it right out. Beautifully done. Blaze Olive on this Corki. He said he had that game with 50% of his team's damage. Here he's doing quite a bit of it already. Definitely assists across the board. Nobody has full kill participation coming in from that just yet, but man, have they been able to find a lot of those kills so far across. It feels good to have everybody building up the right items and not having to kind of fix something or build something somebody else can't get in. No Mikhails where you don't need them. Quicksilver sashes are in as well.
Let's see if Acadian can find the play here, because even though Elise might not be a very viable target in a team fight, if you can snatch her off from the rest of the team, she is very squishy. You can one-shot her, as we've already seen a Blaze Olive do so against Palafox. With the Flash and Predators, this might be the window of opportunity that TSM would like to go for, but as long as they're not being threatened at the base, I don't think there's a reason for them to engage. They should be happy to just slow the pace of the game down and force Golden Guardians to make the first move.
Very slowly, there's the damage coming in from Keith as he gets close enough for a quick W auto. Keeps that passive shot up from his W damage, but they cannot get any more. Not even enough to pepper the turrets. They have to, like you said, be wary of Acadian. Greg can come in from the side if he does find a way past this light bright of wards that GGS has set up on the bottom side of the jungle. You still have a minute and 50 seconds until Baron even comes up. Everybody's just hanging out for now. Palafox back, grabbing Scuttle Crab, making sure all of the shrines are theirs, as well as spires. And they're good to go.
Do keep in mind that I think at this moment TSM's carries do deal more damage because they have not paid the QSS tax. A Trinity Force, Rapid Fire, soon to be Infinity Edge Corki is definitely going to outdeep the Tristana with only Blade and Rapid Fire. So Golden Guardians is being very hesitant in about the way they take these fights because of that income that they had to blow. So they need to just make the most out of the vision control that they have had, secure another Baron, and go for that attempt as opposed to just a head-on approach to take TSM space.
Teleport coming in just to get back onto the map. Not too big of a play from Keith. He'll be perfectly fine using that spell to get back into the fight. Golden Guardians patiently patiently waiting. Like you said, sometimes patience doesn't work. TSM can get quite big, having not paid that tax. Still have a few more items to put in their inventory, so they're not fully stacked just yet. They are a few levels behind if you look at some of the lanes. As we hit 16, that will start to matter.
Once the Blaze Olive gets his IE, TSM is going to be a lot more confident in their ability to take the fight.
Where's he at on that? 600 gold right now, so he needs another 200 plus 400. And so
no, he needs the gold for the crit item too, correct?
right, so he'll get to 8 and then 4 for completion.
Okay, so he needs nice.
Yeah. Well,
Super
you're
close.
right. I only added the gold he needed from what I saw, so it sounded terrible.
Math is hard.
Math is hard when you're not explaining full context. So he needs about 1,200 gold right now, and he'll be good to go. A little bit over that for his Infinity Edge. Currently has 800 of it. That works out better. Baron is going to be started up by TSM.
Ooh, that's a Mountain Dragon into action. That's what they're doing. If they don't have Corki to deal the damage there, and this is a really good placement of the Valkalizer.
Bot side of the map is being pushed in by Darshan. If GGS can stop this, it's a huge turnaround. Oh my god, Hart stole the Baron! Darshan's in a perfect position with a huge mini wave. They have to play the stop the backs game. That's it. If Keith can start hitting the Mystic shots, it's huge. Stop farming the wave, hit the backs. GGS needs to stop everybody. Actually, Darshan comes in. He teleported in.
What?
Yes, what?
He gave up taking the inhibitor. He could have taken the inhibitor and then based. Yeah, look at that. That's definitely
a huge wave.
Yeah, you could have had that with the Baron and powered.
Bro.
Well, let's take a look at the hero play that Hard goes for, because I don't think there's anybody that could have actually gotten them out. There's no Glacial Fissure here. Greg makes a very valiant attempt at flashing over, but even 2 junglers are not enough to stop Hard from getting in there and smiting that away. And yeah, we are going to criticize this one. I feel like we've already harped on it. This could have been an inhibitor for Golden Guardians, which would have then snowballed into a top lane inhibitor for them. But TSM felt confident going for that without their due diligence because of the Mountain Dragon they had claimed earlier.
Looks like a Mountain Dragon will be claimed here once again. Objectives are going to fall in faster. Darshan's working off the ball. He's got the inhibitors open in 2 lanes. He can actually run through the base, but no, he's going to meet Palafox. I'm sorry, a Blaze Olive inside the base. On the Hunt goes down so they can get out of this situation. Palafox wants to fly forward, but he can't get the explosive shot. This inhibitor's not going to even fall, but it might be the fight. A Blaze Olive dodges 1. Doesn't have a Valkyrie to get himself safe, so he has to flash. Now Acadian's going to go down as GGS grab a little bit more ground, and now a first and last shot here to take down Darshan. That inhibitor stays alive, but TSM is looking to stop the rest of GGS as they have lost Acadian.
I believe that is somebody typing nerf exhaust, because he was not able to take down a Blaze Olive through that, even though he does have the Death Dance and even the QSS for the magic damage reduction. The Corki is just way too fed at this stage in the game. Level 17 as well, where you got members that are 12 on the side of Olay and Treat. So he's so far ahead right now, really the main carry. And the only way that I can see that TSM will claw back into this game is through a Blaze Olive's damage. And this is another Baron that might have been much more fruitful for Golden Guardians had it been played better. I don't think they're going to be able to crack down inhibitors now.
It will be very, very tough. They're going to be looking at a Sivir bouncing these minions out. It's great wave clear on the side of TSM, but the pressure coming in from GGS seems to be strong enough. But I feel like it's going to be on a knife's edge here as we get back to the base at TSM, and it could fall either way with the way it's been going for TSM's last fights. They start to get stronger here towards the mid game and find fights that really benefit them.
That's a really good way to put it, knife's edge, because TSM, if they win one fight, the game is over.
Right, you go all the way to their side at this point.
You've got double mountains and you've got 2 carries. You run it straight down. You can burn through those like butter. So I think that Golden Guardians has to be super careful now. Yes, they have had the last few Barons, but they have not been able to get what they want out of it, and now they're looking for a fight in the red side jungle.
Keith keeping himself safe. A true shot barrage going back as he was aiming as well as moving. Gets the damage down on a few members, and they are now waiting for the next fight. It's amazing to see. It's only 500 gold difference between Tristana and Corki, Ablaze Olive, and Palafox. Tristana 500 gold down now, but we knew how much at 5-0-1. Palafox is just throttling GGS. So Palafox being that close in the game, he has done a lot of work for the team. It keeps it all 3-2-1 with a good amount of farm in that Trist.
It really seems like most of the gold is in just Darshan versus Grig, right? 5,000 plus gold lead for Darshan here. And
Absolutely.
So Grig, as long as he gets an ultimate and stuns somebody, he's done all his job, whereas Darshan has to make the most out of that advantage. If he's not doing his job, killing somebody, taking objectives, it feels like a wasted amount of time and effort for Golden Guardians.
Fights on two fronts as Palafox looks towards mid. That minion wave is actually just going to be deleted, but he's keeping it from going anywhere. They want to keep it on the front doorstep right now at TSM's base and keep peppering these objectives. Top inhibitors back to full HP. As they start now on this bot one again. The minion waves really aren't in position for them. This may have to be another wait for Baron at this point, Crumbs.
Ooh, that is really rough. That's only going to benefit TSM Academy.
Exactly.
If they get the jump on it, they will burn it down, and their chance of a Baron steal is just not going to be there for hard, or it's not going to be as easily with double mountains coming up now. And you saw the ricochets from Tactical. They do so much now. TSM's on even footing here, really.
And you have to wonder, the first game wasn't really one that would play on your mentality too much. A game like this where you are in the lead, that puts the opposing team on game point and it did not go your way is the one that becomes tougher. If GGS don't win this, they have a lot of mental to work through as well as the physical coming into next game of a long series. So this is almost a must-needed win if they don't want to be tested that far. You see, just on the other side of the wall, this is cat and mouse right now for TSM and GGS, and anybody is about to get bit.
Let's see, we got control in the mid lane. Keith goes forward, but they always have Tactical's ultimate and the Blaze Olive's package right now to retreat out of this one. So Golden Guardians might just be looking to wait that out. You don't really want to give Corki the window of opportunity to be that aggro. They caught Acadian, though.
They're tempting it. They were seeing it. They're chasing. Oh, my God. There's the ultimate that comes through. Absolutely wipes Acadian. Grig's ult was also huge on the cannon. We'll see if that plays enough of a role. But it looks like Golden Guardians stay healthy enough through the most of it. And now they're going to be tempting that Baron. With Acadian down, there is no smite fight. There is no unsealed spellbook to bring it in and bring another smite to the fight. 10-7. Golden Guardians take Baron.
The river is haunted, Riv. The river, the top river, keeps getting Acadian taken down. And once again, he goes down. Golden Guardians goes for the Baron. Is this gonna be the play where Golden Guardians finally gets to crack the base, or is the wave clear too much from TSM? I think we're about to take a closer look at how that played out.
You have to. You see it 5-0-1 for Blaze Olive, Tactical 0-0-5 without the DPS dealers going, or the damage dealers going down. How aren't GGS falling? It's got to be positioning. It's got to be the snap judgment of these fight starts. And we'll see here from GGS where the carries were for TSM.
Acadian gets a little overconfident, being fancy with his footwork, but when your positioning is that bad, it doesn't matter how well you dance. The music's over.
Oh, see, even if Blaze Olive did the damage he needed to, but you're only just popping GA for Darshan there, so you got to do double duty at this point. That's what I was talking about before with Golden Guardians, setting all those building blocks in place. So even if they lose a fight, TSM still has to work their way back up the ladder. They can't just get themselves right back in. That all depends, though, Crumbs. We did say if it was a fight in the middle, could be anybody's base, so it's kind of conditional in how that situation works. Right now, GGS is definitely looking to put the final nail in the coffin as they move up 36 minutes on the clock to TSM's base once again. We said Baron would be needed.
Keith is going to be a big factor here, but now Palafox is level 18, rapid fire cannon. A fight is starting, and Darshan's not there.
Oh, slicing, or his ultimate's already used as he goes in. No, Ole is going to be the only one that headbutts him out. Darshan and Grig now in a 1v1. Treat pushed back to start this one off. They're going to be able to find Grig. The lightning rush is what ability I was looking for was used immediately, and Grig did not get in. A Kennen that just has to waltz his way at you is not one that'll find a good ultimate, and that's going to be the first inhibitor going down. Golden Guardians having the lead from the beginning and continue it throughout this game. they are going to find themselves a very successful victory here for game 2, and they just need to get the Nexus turrets to make that happen. Ablaze Olive comes back to stop Keith from getting in. He's big damage. Zanyas goes down for Keith as a bit of the members from GGS get a bit scattered, but they're just trying to clean it up, play with their food a bit here, as this second win has to feel good with their backs against the wall from the game 1 loss. Golden Guardians are going to tie up this semifinal series 1-1.
And they finally get the fight they were looking for. The Tristana and the Ezreal got really strong. They were able to deter the flank. The Trist ultimate, the Buster shot, was huge in keeping Ablaze Olive out of the fight. Don't let the Corki in. The Kennen doesn't actually matter. He doesn't do any damage. He's just a stun bot. And so finally Golden Guardians cracks that one. But Riv, I think you were very, very right in seeing that if Golden Guardians didn't find a way to close out this game, that would have had a very serious toll on their mental attitude moving forward from an 0-2 deficit.
It gets absolutely tough. You kind of think of how many members have been in this position for them, how many members can kind of be the veteran and say, hey, this is the situation. And this was kind of that best scenario for all of that to work out moving forward. As we look back at this game, we saw that it was much more of the top lane working in favor of GGS. A strong early game, it kind of repetitive for us, the 3-0 for GGS, but they carried it past the 3-0.
Yeah, they definitely did, and it all started with some action in the river that then snowballed to Darshan, continuing to get solo kills. I believe it was 3 solo kills, and we're gonna kind of count this one, but it doesn't really matter. He actually did get solo kills later on in the game, and this is one of them where the first instance of his Q landing is really what set up all the other ones, and then Kennen just not able to do a whole lot. And I really can't fault Greg. He's not a top laner. He's a jungler now, having to fill in this position, doing his best, and sometimes your best might just not be enough, but it almost was.
Darshan, I feel like Darshan has been, I know this, he has been a Kennen player in the past, and he definitely knows how to play Kennen, so you understand the cooldown of E, and it seems like he had his Q up every time that Grig's E was down for Lightning Rush. So if you know he can't move with the movement speed, you're always going to go in.
And he had the right build for it, rushing the Mercury Trez, being able to continue to chase, as well as the cooldown reduction with the Warhammer.
Yep.
So really knowing that matchup well. And he did super well early. I think we really faulted him for not finishing the inhibitor in the bottom lane, which stalled out the game a significant part. But on the flip side, I think Golden Guardians had so much more control around the river. Being able to catch out Acadians so many times is what yielded them the Barons time and time again to end the game.
Right. If it lost in the game, we go so much harder on it.
Right.
But it didn't. So it's minute, as you're saying. It kind of just goes to the wayside. But it was a back and forth game as we watch again. Slow game until GGS get the fight they need. So coming into game 2, a more definitive closeout, but the win never hurts.
Yeah, and the engage from TSM was a little bit too forced there. There was just nobody to follow up on the damage, as well as Palafox having a really nice Buster shot. We can see the gold difference over time. Remember that a big chunk of that is actually on Kennen, which oddly enough actually had very similar damage to Darshan, but that was not the story of the game. Darshan was just crushing that matchup, and Golden Guardians had pressure everywhere else as well.
Ablaze Olive doing the big damages again on that Corki. Watch for this guy, but as well on your screen, the other side of that mid lane is Palafox. Didn't get his Azir this time. Actually, nobody did, as it was kind of waffled back and forth on, and they went for something else. We see the Tristana coming out this time, and it seems like GGS is able to break open that champion pool, as we also get the Alistar, sorry, from the bot side.
Look at the baby.
The Hunter's baby. That's Hunter's baby. Hanging out. Hunter always brings his baby. So we'll see GGS.
Yeah.
What was you?
Sorry, you're just talking about Palafox, right? Being able to do so much in the mid lane. He snowballed in the top lane as well. He caught out Acadian multiple times on his own.
To the river, like, thank you very much.
Something was happening with that river every single time. 4 death in that.
We love the river.
Yeah.
I think if like, really iconic things happen in a certain part of the map, they should almost get like a flag of notoriety.
Yeah.
Like, remember in 2019? But
I don't remember.
It'd be AC after Crumbs.
Oh yeah, I thought you were going for something else. I was like, I don't remember that. That never happened in the top lane river. I've never done anything.
Golden Guardians strike back and tie the series. We will have to see who takes game 3 when we return. Do not go anywhere. We'll see you back here in a few. help from his buddy. That's going to be a quick W if he can get the stun down onto Hard. Now Griggs up the river without a paddle. No rotation in the middle, so Blaze Olive is forced to farm the minions at the turret.
TSM is never going to be out of this game. Oh wait, Gideon has ult too.
Oh, a little too late, a little too long. Palafox in a bad spot, 150 gold bounty.
Josh on the
I'm TP.
I got this.
I'm hitting bot. I'm hitting bot.
Yeah, back up.
Back.
They caught a Cadian though.
They're tempting it. They were seeing it. They're chasing. Oh my God! There's the ultimate that comes through. Absolutely wipes Acadian.
Got it. I'm fine.
I knocked their carries out. I'm just hitting their front line.
We can win.
Yeah, I'm with Vershawn.
I'll get Kennen.
Okay, I got one.
Yes, we can end off it. Midway.